In the late 1980s, men's tennis was a war zone of styles. You had the stoic Ivan Lendl, the fiery John McEnroe, the cool, calculating Stefan Edberg, and then there was Boris Becker. He was Germany's golden boy, just 17 years old when he won Wimbledon. Diving across the grass, no fear. Blonde hair, red face, very powerful player. He didn't just play tennis, he attacked it. Across the net from him was a kid from Las Vegas, Andre Agassi, who was a showman. He had long hair, neon shorts, earrings, and a pretty sick mullet, if you ask me. Where Becker was all grit and German discipline, Agassi was charisma and showmanship. But Becker had something that Agassi just could not figure out. That serve. They called it the boom boom serve, over 130 miles per hour, hitting corners like a sniper. When Becker served, you didn't react, you guessed. And for a long time, Agassi guessed wrong. The first 3 times that they met, Becker absolutely destroyed him. Andre barely saw the ball, let alone returned it. He later said that it was like trying to hit a blur. You heard it before you saw it, he said. But Agassi wasn't just talented, of course. He was also obsessive. He didn't want to be just flashy. He wanted to win. And so he did what great athletes do when they can't beat you. He started to study you. Night after night, he watched Becker's matches on tape. He was watching them in slow motion, pausing, rewinding, watching again, trying to understand. He was watching everything about his body language, not really his swing and not the toss, but everything else. He watched the bounce of the ball, the way Becker's eyes shifted, the way he held his mouth. And for a long time, he got nothing from it, just watching perfection. Until one day, Agassi froze the frame and he saw it. Something so tiny, something very human, and something Becker himself probably had no idea was even happening. So, he tested the theory in his mind watching old footage. When Becker stuck his tongue slightly to the left, the serve went wide. When it stayed dead center, it went up the tee. He'd found it. The code Boris Becker cracked by his own tongue. So Andre, he didn't tell a soul. He didn't tell his coach. He didn't tell his dad. He didn't tell anyone. Because if Becker found out, then the magic would vanish, of course. So Andre played it very cool. Sometimes he would guess wrong on purpose. He'd let Becker have a few easy points because to use that tell every single time would be too obvious. He needed Becker to believe that he was still unpredictable. So when the moment was right, the big points, the break chances, Agassi locked in, and Becker would toss the ball, stick his tongue out ever so slightly, and Agassi would move early, like he could see the future. And the tide turned instantly. From that moment on, Becker, the man with the unreturnable serve, became a mere mortal. Before the discovery, Becker dominated their rivalry. But after, Agassi beat him 10 of the next 11 times they played. And Becker just could not understand it. He would just glare across the net. He'd be muttering under his breath, slamming his racket. It just didn't make sense. Agassi shouldn't be able to read him like that. He told his friends and even his wife, it's like Andre can read my mind. And for all those years, he was kind of right. He just did not know how. Fast forward an entire decade, both men retired. It's Oktoberfest in Munich. The beer's flowing, the music's loud, and the rivals, who are now friends, are sitting side by side, laughing it up about the good old days. And Agassi decides to tell him. He leans in, beer in hand, and says, Boris, I used to read your serve. Becker looks at him, half amused, half confused. What do you mean? Agassi smiles. It wasn't your toss. It wasn't your shoulders. It wasn't your racket. Becker waits. And Agassi says, it was your tongue. And Becker freezes. He blinks, processing, and Agassi continues. Every time you stuck it slightly to the left, you served wide. When you kept it in the middle, you went up the tee. And Becker burst out laughing. He was shaking his head. He said, I told my wife for years that it was like you could read my mind. And for all those years, he was kind of right. One of the greatest serves in tennis history was undone by the flick of a tongue. All those titles, all those matches, all that power defeated not by strength and not by speed, but by a tell, a little human quirk. So, what do you think? Was this truly what was happening? Was this genius, or is he just messing with his head? Fansplain me in the comments.